by zero option. I'm going to start by saying, I don't care if you believe me. I have to get the truth out. NASA, the ESA, JSA, RSA, they're all covering it up. The minute this goes live, I'll probably be dead. That's fine. As long as you heed my warning. We're all in danger. We need to know why. I don't know how long this will be up, so I'll divulge as much as I can before I've got to bounce. Before I went on the lam, I swiped a few goodies from the archives department, and it should buy me the time I need to keep ahead of the kill teams after me. I guess I'm rambling. Let me start over here. Sorry. I'm a senior analyst for one of those nice alphabet agencies you've never heard of. We were extremely compartmentalized, so much so I didn't even know the names of any other employee in my division. We were all told that if we used anything but the name and number assigned to us, we would be in violation of more acts and legalese than I can parse. The TLDR, if I violated any rule, they would toss me into a hole and lose the hole. Our three-man cell was tasked with ostensibly looking at sensor and satellite telemetry data, analyzing and interpreting the movement of various satellites through our assigned sector. We assumed we were tracking Chinese or Russian probes. The money was amazing, so we never gave it a second thought and carried on with our lives. It should have been a huge red flag, huh? Well, 5 months into our analysis, the first anomaly occurred. A massive sensor void in the reading. My coworkers, both of whom had more initials at the end of their names than I care to transcribe, were absolutely astonished. It appeared in the readout for a full 2-minute cycle, then vanished, not only from the screens and visual representation of the data, but from the raw feed as well. Theoretically, this was impossible. I wrote the algorithm that compiled and collated the data. There should have been no way to backfill it. So I did what we were initially instructed to. I logged the anomaly, filed the report. If I were smarter, I would have let it go, but I couldn't. I couldn't stand the idea that my algorithm was flawed. So that night, I ran a comparison test against my original source code, and sure enough, tucked away were 2 lines of code that gave a backdoor into the system. I would say I was surprised, but I'm not in the habit of engaging in flights of fancy. Of course, spooks fucked with my software. Well, I'd show them. Damn, even as I lay this out, I sound like a bit of an egotistical prick, don't I? With delusions of grandeur, I might add. So, in 2 hours, I coded an update into the software. Pretty sneaky shit if I do say so myself. Even if they suspected it, they never would have found it. I coded too many parameters to activate the subroutine, and even that was a ruse. It looked if it was used algorithmically to generate information to fill in the blank spots, the voids, that the arrays called glitches. In reality, though, it was logging the data, backtracking the signal from the backdoor intrusion, and flash transmitting all the data open on the terminal to the ghost drive. Theoretically, I'd have been able to see, log, and decipher whatever it was they were hiding and seeing at the same time. Pretty ballsy if I do say so myself, but that's what always got me into trouble. I was brilliant but brazen, so it got me hired on at various big tech AI projects as a lead coder, but it's also what cost me my job at the same time. And it brought me to the attention of the agency I work for now. The next morning, I logged my request to update our system and was given permission. It seemed if we were given an awful lot of leeway on how we operated. I thought it odd for such a clandestine organization, but what the fuck did I know? I never worked for any other organization like this in my life. It was pretty anticlimactic at first. I guess I expected it to happen all at once, to figure out the whole thing. Well, I figured maybe it's an attribute of the instant gratification generation. I figured maybe I'd made the criteria too precise. But it was too suspect to alter the code again, leeway or not. I didn't want my parents to hear that I'd committed suicide with 2 bullets in the back of my head. Another 3 months passed without incident, and I'd all but forgotten about it. Out of the corner of my eye one day, though, I saw the little green light blinking on the ghost drive. It was actually happening. I damn near jumped out of my seat, but I didn't want to cause alert or suspicion. I calmly as I could waited until the day's end, palmed the drive, and headed home. I got home and plugged the drive into my standalone, and my heart sank. Only a half a dozen text files in a single JPEG? I opened the picture first. It was a screenshot of our interface screen of sensor data. And on it was the exact glitch as last time, but with a single difference. Someone had placed a targeting scale over it. If I were to take it at face value, this glitch was 8 kilometers long, 1 kilometer wide, toroidal with hard-to-find edges. It also didn't emit any radiation. Not at all, even IR from being so close to the sun. I didn't know what I was looking at, but this was no glitch. I opened the first text file. It was 18 lines in total, each starting with the words status report, then a line of numbers, followed by the words no change. The next four were no different. The last was the largest. The header said, AAR, Op Sortie 38, USS Mercury lost. Casualties, all hands. Then a list of 22 names and ranks. Containment, unchanged. A quick search revealed that no ship under that heading or crew complement existed in the entire fleet, let alone it sunk with all hands lost. I searched the first name on the list. The captain had allegedly died 8 years ago in a chopper crash with 12 other SF personnel, 3 of whom were also on this list. What the fuck was going on? It didn't make any goddamn sense. There wasn't much else to go on, but hopefully more would turn up soon. Next day, I went into work nervous about what I'd done and what I knew, but nothing was said. I wasn't black bagged, gassed, or shot or waterboarded, so I figured I was okay and moved on. It wasn't even 48 hours later before the drive activated again. My heart stopped. Couldn't be already. I was on pins and needles all day. I looked into the drive again at home. Like before, it had a bunch of text files and about 20 pictures this time. 9 of the pictures all had the same object as the first, one above every planet and the sun, all in geostationary polar orbit. The rest but one were all camera views from around the Mercury object at various angles, with strange metallic-looking glints in the image. The last image had a black beam extending from it towards the lower part of the image. The text files were all mostly gibberish of acronyms I couldn't parse without context. The biggest file spoke volumes, though. It was another casualty report, naming 3 ships and 70 crew in total. But the most chilling part of it was object active, ? Quarantine, failed. For the second time in under a week, my mind was in shock trying to understand what I was seeing. There's no way we were fighting aliens, were we? Never be able to keep that kind of secret? Poured myself a drink, something I never really do at all. All I had was a bottle of cheap vodka I keep around for company, as I mixed far too little in a glass of way too much OJ, and perused the gibberish. I winced at the taste. Seriously, who the hell enjoys this crap? One of the numbers caught my eye suddenly. The port directory for the Ghost Drive. And 2 date stamps? Fuck. I panicked. Me being super paranoid about security, I never considered I'd get caught. I decided then, well, in for a penny, right? I decided to key all my fail-safe functions, and in seconds, I was in their network. I grabbed all the data in 60 seconds I could, then flipped my kill switch. I grabbed my laptop, my bug-out bag, and watched as thermite charges lit and started slagging all of my drives. I walked out the door. I didn't take my normal car, though. I guess my dad's old Ford would have to do. Nothing electric to track on it. It took me all night to drive 300 miles across state lines. Not that that's nearly far enough. Crappy Wi-Fi I'm on right now from the next house over will have to do me while I make this post. In my lifestyle choice, I know of some places I can go and lay low for a while. People I can trust. If I can get enough time, I'll go through the rest of this data I took. But one thing's for certain. The governments are going to astronomical lengths to hide this from everyone. Ships that don't exist, some sort of alien monoliths, soldiers who seemingly have died twice. There's something up there, something they don't want to get out. I need to get to my tracking software because it's pinging right now. I need to move. I'll post more at the next safe house. Remember, they're lying to you. The pictures aren't a garbage bag. There's more of them up there, and now they're waking up.